Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture on lexical analysis. So lexical analysis is the first phase of a compiler, and in this phase the lexical analyzer breaks down the components of the source language program into a group of tokens. So let us see what are the activities that the lexical analyzer performs. So we have already seen that a lexical analyzer takes as input the source program, the source language program, and it breaks it down into individual tokens, the components of each of these tokens. So it makes output of the tokens. So you have a sequence of tokens, all right, depending upon the language. Now these tokens are given as input to the second phase, which is the parser or your syntax analyzer. So whatever is output from the lexical analyzer goes as input to the syntax analyzer, and in doing so the lexical analyzer also does something more. What it does is that the tokens that it has identified, okay, so for this it also enters the information about the identifiers in the program in the symbol table. So the symbol table entry is made, and the definitions in the symbol table are also referred to by the syntax analyzer. And because the lexical analyzer and the syntax analyzer works hand in hand, so the lexical analyzer will give tokens to the syntax analyzer, and when the syntax analyzer has completed working on these tokens, it will request for more tokens. So it will ask something like get next token. So the parser or the syntax analyzer works hand in hand with the lexical analyzer. Now in addition to performing these tokenization of the source language program, the lexical analyzer also does some other housekeeping work, like removing comments, in your program. Okay, so if you have any comments, because comments are not included in the source program, these are not compiled, so these are removed. Then white spaces are removed. Okay, so your space, tab, new line, all these are removed so that they are not confused with the your tokens. All right. Now along with that, it also does some other things, like it finds out the line numbers. It can give line numbers to the program. And how line numbers are useful? Because if there is any error, the compiler should tell me what is the error and where the error has occurred in terms of the line number. So the line number is necessary here. So the syntax analyzer includes the lexical analyzer includes the line numbers in the program. So these are some of the things that a lexical analyzer performs. Now in the next lecture you will look at tokens, patterns and lexemes. But before we go into tokens, patterns and lexemes, let me tell you something about how this lexical analyzer will determine whether a particular value in the source program is a token or not. So let's see this. So suppose I have a function, I have written some code like this. Say if parenthesis A is greater than B. So something like this. This is one line. So now the lexical analyzer must find out that if is a token, parenthesis is a token, A here is a token, it's a variable name, greater than is a token, B is a token, and closing parenthesis is a token. So how does it know that all these are token? How does it know that this is a keyword? Or this is a parenthesis? Or this is an identifier? Or this is again another operator, and so on. So the lexical analyzer has to be given the logic inside the lexical analyzer must have some information about the different tokens or the different lexemes that are to be present in the that are to be identified. Like say I have to give the list of all keywords for that programming language. Like say if it is for C, then I have to give all the keywords for C. I have to give it to the language, to the lexical analyzer. I have to give all the operators, okay, like this and this and this. I have to give all of these, okay. Then I have to also specify how constants are specified. Constants, what type of constants I can have. Like I may have integer constants like this 23. I may have say 23.10, or I may have 0.24. Okay, so how these constants are defined, I have to specify that, the format of all of these. And most importantly, I also have to specify how identifiers will be there. Identifiers, which sequence of characters can be identified. So these are basically your variables. So in every programming language that you have come across, you must have seen that there are naming conventions for variables. That means a variable can start with a letter, and then it can have all digits, it can have certain symbols, certain special symbols. So these rules are to be given to the lexical analyzer. So the lexical analyzer, once it knows that these are the keywords, these are the constants, these are the identifiers, then it can use these rules to identify from the source language lexemes, identify them as valid tokens. And if these are not valid, then it should give me an error. So these specifications, the language specifications for the lexemes and the tokens, this is given in the form of something known as your regular expression. So regular expressions you have already discussed. It is already discussed in your theory of computation class, but we will do some quick recap on regular expressions also.